Hey guys, it's Angela, and today's video is going to be my spooky October TBR. Now, I usually don't do TBR videos on my channel because I'm very indecisive and I'm definitely a mood reader, but I wanted to do one for October because that is my favorite month of the year. I will be turning 21 this month, so that's super exciting, and I just love all things spooky. So before I get into this TBR, I do want to say it's kind of ambitious for me right now at the time, because I'm currently taking 7 college classes, which I do not recommend unless you want to constantly be stressed, then go ahead, do it. But yeah, I definitely don't recommend that. But let's get into the books that I hope to read during the month of October. The first book I'm going to talk about today is the Booktuber favorite, and that is The Good Daughter by Karen Slaughter, and this is one of Elias's favorites. I'll have his channel linked down below. He's so kind and so sweet, and he is, in my opinion, the king of thrillers here on BookTube. He has had so many great recommendation videos. I've read a lot of thrillers because of him. He's definitely influenced my thriller reading experience, and I've loved all of his recommendations. So this is one of the books that he's talked about that I haven't actually read yet. I am going to listen to it on audio, but I will probably pick up a physical copy of it as well. I'm not really too sure what the synopsis is about completely, and I kind of want it to stay that way. I do know that there's a murder involved between sisters, and I know that it's dark. I don't know if it's necessarily as dark as Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter is, but nonetheless, I do know it's dark, and I'm super excited about it. And the next book I want to read this month, I've already started, and that is Night Shift by Stephen King. As you can see by my 11 bookmark, I've already started it. I'm about 100 pages in, so that puts me at a little over 20%. This is, I believe, Stephen King's first short story compilation, and this is my first time reading one of his short story compilations, so I'm really excited for that. There's a lot of notable stories in here, but I think one of the most popular or most well-known ones would be Children of the Corn, and that's definitely the short story that I'm most excited for. It was adapted into a movie in I think the 80s or the 90s, and I love that movie. It's just so creepy, and the whole story is just so messed up, and I'm really excited to read it. The next few books I'm going to be talking about are buddy reads, and the first one is Wilder Girls by Rory Powers. Rory Power. And I'm going to be buddy reading this with Sydney from Read with Cindy, and I'm really excited about this. I've kind of heard it sort of pitched as Lord of the Flies with all female characters, which makes me really excited. I didn't love Lord of the Flies in high school. I mean, it's been a hot minute since I read it, but I remember not loving it because I didn't like the way that they treated that one specific boy. I think his name was Piggy, but I wasn't for it. But I know that on this island there's this thing called the Tox, and the girls are changing, their bodies are changing, and some of them are dying. And so I've heard a lot of mixed things about this. I've heard some people say they absolutely love it, and then some people who have even DNF'd it. So I'm really excited to read this and see where I fall within that spectrum. The next book is also a buddy read, which I'll be reading with Cindy from Read with Cindy and Chanel from It's Chanel Time, and that is You by Carolyn Kepnes. This is the Netflix cover. I haven't seen the Netflix show yet because I do want to read the book first. And I've heard amazing things about this book. This is about this guy named Joe who is essentially stalking a woman, but the whole book is written in the tense of you. So I'm watching you do this and you're doing that. So it sounds really creepy and a really creative way to construct a thriller, and I'm super excited to read this one. The next book is also a buddy read, and that is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Moran, I think. I'm not really quite sure how to pronounce it. My friend Jake from Jake Does Books actually surprised me last month and sent this to me, so thank you so much, Jake. And I will be reading it with him and my friend Haley. This is a book about a witch and a witch hunter, and I'm really excited about this because I love witchy books, and this is just the perfect time of year to be reading it. The cover is so beautiful, and I'm really excited to read it with my friends. I've heard absolutely amazing things about this book, so it's definitely a book that I anticipate I'm going to like. This month, I'm also going to try to read the first 2 Harry Potter books, Sorcerer of Stone and Chamber of Secrets, with my friend Trey from Vaytray and Katie from Katie's Book Nook. I am super excited to read these. I think I'm going to be reading them in the picture book form or whatever that is. I'm not going to hold it up because it's way too heavy and I don't really want to grab it from my shelf, but it's right she's right there. So yeah, I'm really excited to read that with them. I've never read these specific editions, and the Goblet of Fire edition does come out in October, which has me super excited because that's one of my favorite Harry Potter books. Next, we have Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. This is one of those word cloud classics that I've talked about before on my channel. I did get it at Target, so I'm sure that you can find it there for 20% off. It's really cute. It has the little lightning bolt on the side. And this is a book that I've wanted to read for a really long time, but just haven't gotten around to it. So I figured that this would be the perfect book to add to my TBR in October. I've heard so many great things about this. This is such a loved classic, and I'm really excited to read this because after I read this, I would like to pick up The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein by Kirsten White, I believe. So, but I feel like you need to read this first. So yeah, if I can squeeze this in this month, I will be very happy about it. And lastly, the last book I physically have here, like I said before, I don't know if all of these books will be read. The buddy reads definitely will be, but I'm not sure about like these other extra books I'm throwing in there. Also, I have a lot of holds on like Libby and stuff, so like it depends when they come what I'm gonna read. So this whole month is completely up in the air. But the last physical book that I do have here that I want to talk about is Cujo by Stephen King, and I love this cover and I love this spine. This is about a Saint Bernard who is like man's best friend, and then he gets bit by a rabid animal and essentially becomes crazy. And I think that it's told from the perspective of the dog Cujo, which I think is really interesting. And I am going to listen to this on audio, I think, because I don't really want to read this edition. She's kind of gross and crusty, and she's more of a shelf piece than a physically read piece. But I will hopefully be listening to this on audiobook, and I'm really excited about that. Those are all the books I want to read during the month of October. Like I said, this month is going to be really busy for me because I am taking 7 college classes, so my reading time is like not much anymore. It's rough. I feel like I'm just eating, breathing, sleeping, living, homework all the time because I feel like that's what I'm constantly doing. But I still want to put an effort in to read these books, and I'm super excited for October because I turned 21 this month and I have so many exciting videos planned for you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good one.